I'm Kayla, and I'm a registered dietitian at Wellstar Health Place. And today I want to talk about following a gluten-free diet. Now, if you've tuned into this video, I assume that you already have some interest in following a gluten-free diet. Just keep in mind that gluten-free doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be healthier or that it is right for you. If you do have celiac disease, you absolutely have to follow a gluten-free diet to be healthy. But some people do have what's called gluten sensitivity. It's a little bit difficult to determine if you have gluten sensitivity sometimes. But if you feel like you want to try a gluten-free diet, just make sure that you follow some of these recommendations so you're not missing any nutrients. Okay, so first of all, what even is gluten, right? What do you find gluten is? What's the big idea about gluten? So things like wheat, right? Triscuits are made from pure wheat. Not that Triscuits are bad from you, but they do have gluten. They do have wheat in them. A lot of sweets, desserts, Oreos, cookies, cupcakes, pastas, breads, pizza, anything that has wheat, barley, rye. Gluten is a protein that is found in wheat. So you want to avoid wheat, flour, things like that. That is where you find gluten. Now, we live in a very gluten-free friendly culture right now, which is great. So there's a lot of gluten-free products that you can find that makes it very easy to follow a gluten-free diet. They've got all these all-purpose gluten-free flour blends. Now keep in mind, gluten-free baking is very difficult, so don't try it without a recipe. I know, because I've tried it plenty of times and sometimes it doesn't end up well. But you can buy these, they've got pancake mixes, which are cool. But there are grains that just naturally don't have gluten in them. So that's what I prefer when it comes to a gluten-free diet, is just eating things that already just don't have gluten in them. Quinoa is a great example. Quinoa is a natural gluten-free grain. Brown rice is a gluten-free grain. There's a lot of these ancient grains that you hear of that are gluten-free. Oats are sometimes gluten-free. Now, oats are usually cross-contaminated with a lot of wheat, just the way that they're grown. So if you're celiac, you might want to get gluten-free certified oats. But if you're just trying to avoid it because you feel like you're kind of sensitive to it, then you could do oats. They are technically gluten-free. There's a lot of flours like almond flour, coconut flour that you can do. Obviously, I use this almond flour a lot. It really works for a lot of gluten-free baking or making protein bars or something like that. So you can do that. Or you can eat carbs without eating grains. There's a lot of ways to get your healthy carbs. So you can eat fruit. Fruit has healthy carbs in it and it's gluten-free. You can eat sweet potatoes. That's not necessarily a grain, right? But it is a healthy carb. So keep in mind, you can get your carbs from other places like fruit or sweet potatoes. It does not have to be from a grain. Now, if you are very, very strict gluten-free and more of a celiac, you want to be careful of a lot of dressings, sauces. There's a lot of little ingredients that have gluten in them or are gluten containing. We, again, live in a gluten-free friendly culture, so a lot of these things will be labeled. Like, this is liquid aminos. It's a soy sauce alternative. Soy sauce usually has gluten in it, but this doesn't. So keep in mind when you're looking at your dressings, sauces, soups even, and you are sensitive to small bits of gluten, you might want to be careful with that. Again, if you feel like you're sensitive to gluten or you have celiac, you can have some gut stuff going on too. And you might want to start, doing probiotic drinks like kombucha. You could take a probiotic supplement. You might even need to supplement with some multivitamins or B vitamins. Some people who have celiac do have trouble absorbing some of these vitamins because they have a very inflammatory gut. So kind of think about that too. So if you are trying to follow a gluten-free diet, just keep in mind that we do live in a friendly culture. There are a lot of gluten-free products, but I do prefer you to go with the things that are already naturally gluten-free, like the quinoa and the apples and the sweet potatoes, and therefore you can still eat a well-rounded gluten-free diet. And if you need more help, more individualized guidance when it comes to being gluten-free, you can meet with a registered dietitian. You can meet with me if you like. I am at Wellstar Health Place. Just click the link down below for more details.